Good morning, this is Andree, and welcome to my restorative class. So we are at the beginning of the autumn equinox, and change of seasons often can be difficult and affect our moods. So today we are going to uplift our spirit with some supported restorative backbends. For that session today, you're going to need 2 blocks, a strap, and maybe a pillow to sit on if you need to sit on something. Okay, so let's start seated with your legs crossed. You close your eyes. And begin to take a deep breath in. And take a slow exhalation. And let's begin again to take a deep breath in. Hold your breath. And slow, steady exhalation. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhaling, pause, and exhaling. On your own, 2 more breaths. Okay, let's start on our hands and knees. Before we do the restorative movement, we're going to warm up in cat-cow pose and downward facing dog. So begin by separate your knees, big toes together, and begin to stretch the arms forward. Releasing your head between your arms. Let's take 5 breaths here. Keep extending the arms forward so your arms are fully extended, and you may feel a stretch in the armpits of the shoulders. Now let's shift to your hands and knees. Tuck your toes under. Press your downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Let's take 5 breaths in dog pose. If this is hard on your wrist, then you can do dolphin pose on your forearms. Continue to extend the arms, rotating the upper arms out. So you're hugging the elbows toward the midline. Don't push your pose right now, just move into the form. Breathing in and breathing out. And come to your knees to child's pose. And sit up. So the first passive poses that we are going to do, you're going to take 1 block is going to be bridge position with the sacrum supported on the block. Now, depending on the length of your spine or your flexibility, you can use a block on a high end or use a block on a medium height. You could also use the block totally flat. However, you may want to try see can you have the block on a higher end. Okay, we're going to hold that bridge for 5 to 10 breaths. And let me tell you, I've took notes about so that you know the benefit of the pose that you're doing. So that first pose that we're going to do with the block underneath your hips releases the hip flexors and the low back. And the blocks will support the extension of the spine. So lie down on your back. Okay, have your feet hip width apart. Pause here. Now, to come into the bridge, you're going to use your legs and use the arms. So you're pressing the elbows down right now. Although your arms are straight, press the elbows down, press the feet down, and begin to lift the hips up. Take the block to the height that you've chosen. Slide the block underneath your sacrum. You can step by interlacing your fingers in front of the block. And now just let the arms rest by your side. Now press the back of your head to the floor. Keep the knees in alignment. Let's take 20 breaths here. Keep pressing the elbows down so that you are not sinking to the floor. So you want to keep that active lift in your chest. So this is a semi-active pose. The feet are rooted to the floor. The elbows actively pressed down so that the shoulders are barely touching the floor. The back of your neck should be in a neutral position. Make sure you have nothing underneath your head. Let your mind travel to your body as you're holding that position. There should be no discomfort in your back. You may feel a stretch in your belly. We're going to take 5 more breaths. Continue to lift between the shoulder blades, spreading the chest. Let's take 1 more breath. Now power lift off the block as you inhale. Remove the block and curl your spine all the way down to the floor. And you're going to pause here for a couple of breaths before we move to the next position, which is going to be another bridge. It's also called septubanda, so the modifier of septubanda. So the next septubanda bridge that we are going to do, we're going to put a block between the thighs or between the knees in a comfortable position. And then we have to create more space in the lower back. And you have to keep the legs parallel and engage. And for this one, we're just going to take about 5 breaths. We're going to come down, and then we're going to take 5 more breaths. We're going to repeat that 3 times using the breath. So, lying on your back, take the block, place it between your thighs or between the knees. Now, use the block. I notice that if I use the block on the narrow edge, I bring my knees too close together, so use the block sideways. So not on the long end, on the width of the block. Okay, now if you're a small person, you may want to use the block the other way. Okay, so here, pause here. Same action here. You're pressing the upper arms, the arms down to the floor, from the elbows down to the palms. You're pressing your feet down, and now let's power lift into your septubanda. And we're going to take 5 breaths. Observe the action in the legs. And slowly curl your spine down. So we're going to take a couple of breaths in between, just to give the body a chance to rest. It's particularly if you're not used to holding bridge. Now once again, pressing the elbows down and the palms, pressing the feet down, power lift the hips up. Fully root the feet down to the floor. Keep pressing the elbows down to maintain the lift between the shoulder blades. Let's take 2 more breaths. And then slowly curl your spine back down. Let's take a couple of breaths here, letting the whole back relax on the floor. Keep the block between your thighs. And let's do this one more time. Press the palms and elbows down, root your feet, and lift into bridge. Keep pushing the floor away with the feet. Keep pressing the back of your head to the floor. Pressing the elbows down. And one more breath. And slowly curl your spine down. And let your back fully release to the mat. Now we're going to keep the blocks between our thighs for the next position. So let's just take a few more breaths light on your back as I'm breathing to you the benefit of the next pose that we are going to do. So the next pose we are going to do in bridge, block between your thighs. You're going to extend one leg. We're going to hold for a couple of breaths. You're going to release down and come back up. We're going to do that 3 times on each side. And the benefit of this is it provides another challenge, as you will find out, in the legs and hips and back muscles. So you keep the thighs in one line. You want to neutralize the pelvic floor. Okay, so let's get into position. If your block is there, be sure your block is between your thighs. Pressing the feet, pressing the palms of the elbows, power lift, and now stretch your right leg. So you don't have to go very high, just pause there, and then come down. Keep the leg extended. Let's come up again. Breathing. And coming down. Let's do one more. Coming up. And coming down. Bend the knee, press the foot on the floor. Let's do the second side. Power lift the hips. Stretch your left leg forward. Release down. Keep the leg extended. And power lift again. Release down. One more time, lift. And release down. Remove the block. Pause there with your knees bent. You'll extend the arms out to the side, bring your knees into your chest, and then lower the knees to the right, just to release the back. Come back to the center, lower the knees to the left. Back to the center. One more time on each side. And come back to the center and bring the feet down to the floor. You're going to roll to your side. Come into child's pose. Toes together, heels apart, knees apart. Extend the arms forward. Take a moment to observe the sensation in your back. And slowly sit up. So the next position we're going to do is lying flat on our back with the block underneath your hips. That position releases all your flexors, supports the extension of the spine. So you can use your block on the low end, or you can use a block on the medium height. Placing the block underneath your sacrum. You're going to stretch your right leg and stretch your left leg. And let's start with the arms over your head. And then bring the arms by your side. We're going to hold that for 10 breaths. Keep pressing the back of your head down. Keep your legs together as much as you can. If it's hard, you can always separate your legs a little bit, hip width apart, but keep the thighs rolling in. Feel the stretch in your belly. There should be no discomfort in your back. If you're feeling discomfort, then you can use the block on the lower end, or you could even use a blanket instead underneath your hips. now just bend your knees, plant the feet on the floor. So we're going to do a little bit of a flow. You're going to stretch your right leg up. And then slowly release the leg down. Keep the other knee bent for now. Release the leg down to the floor. Bring the leg back up. Let's do that 2 more times on this side. Lower the leg forward. Keep extending the leg. Try not to bend the knee. Let's do this 1 more time. Pause here with the leg extended. And then bend the knee, press the foot on the floor. Okay, let's do the other side. Extend your left leg up. Slowly extend the leg forward all the way down to the floor without bending the knee. Bring the leg back up. Keep the right knee in alignment. Let's do this 1 more time. Pause in here. And then bend your knee, press the foot on the floor. Lift the hips up and release your spine down. Pause here on your back. If you feel like you need to, you can bring your knees into your chest, or even do happy baby, grabbing the edge of each foot, pressing the knees toward the floor, pressing your feet into your hands. Flatten your back. And slowly release. The feet back down. Turn to your side and come up. So the next pose that we're going to do is upward facing dog. We are going to do upward facing dog with 2 blocks. So the benefit of doing upward facing dog with 2 blocks is that it elevates the floor to your hands and makes it a little easier to come into the pose. So place your hands flat on the block. Tuck your toes under, press to downward facing dog. You're going to inhale, coming into upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lifting the heels up, rolling over the toes, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. And upward facing dog. Come to your knees and stretch your chest pose. You can keep your hands on the block if that's comfortable for you. Or you can have your hands on the floor. And sit up. So the next pose that we're going to do is Chaturanga Dandasana, which is low push-up. Now I realize some of you may have wrist issues. So if this is the case, instead of doing what I'm doing, you are going to do plank pose on your forearms. But watch me first. You're going to take, if you have a strap nearby, you're going to take the strap, place and make a loop. And the loop is going to be right above the elbows. So we're going to go from downward facing dog to chaturanga dandasana or to forearm plank. Okay, he's going to press back to dog pose. You're going to shift forward into plank and lower yourself to chaturanga. Keep pressing the heels back. Keep the head up. Keep engage the core. And then press back to downward facing dog or to dolphin pose. Let's do this again. Shift forward to plank. Lower yourself to chaturanga. Keep pressing the heels back. And downward facing dog. Let's do this one more time. Shifting forward to plank. Chaturanga. Downward facing dog. Come to your knees and remove the strap. And come to child's pose. Have your arms alongside your body. Fully relax the shoulders with your forehead on the floor. Take 5 breaths. And then sit up. So the next pose that we're going to do is puppy dog. So we're going to do puppy dog using the block in different positions. So the first one that we're going to do is have the block underneath the forehead, and that usually feels pretty good. It brings the floor closer to your forehead, so if you have trouble bringing your forehead to the floor, that helps. And it allows the head and neck to rest, reducing strain and tension, because you want your head to be supported. Then we're going to move to the elbows bent with the palms together, with the elbows on the block, and that's going to be bring the floor again, the floor closer to your forehead, to your hands, and it's going to open the armpits of the shoulders a little bit more. So let's take our 2 blocks, or let's take 1 block to start. You can have the block horizontal, you can have the block vertical. You can also have the block on a high end if you feel you need more height. Okay, so walk the hands forward. Stretch back so your butt is in the air. Place your forehead onto the block. And come in and out as much as you need to find the right position for your head. Once you're in position, we're going to take 10 breaths. You want to slightly engage the abdominal muscles so you're not hyperextending the lumbar spine, so you want to support it. So you may feel an intense stretch in the upper arms, but there should be no discomfort in the shoulder joint itself. Keep pressing the palms down. Keep the arms fully extended. This is very important. Feel the breath. Keep the lower leg rooted to the floor. And then slowly sit up. Now we're going to do we have two more versions to do. The second version is with the elbows down. So we're going to need the two blocks. And you're going to use the blocks together this way because your elbows are going to be separated shoulder width apart, but you want your forehead to be able to rest on the block as well for comfort. Okay, so place your forearm onto your elbows onto the blocks. You want to walk your knees back a little bit. Now, keep the fingers pointing straight forward. Again, take a moment to really set up yourself into this position. And we're going to take 10 breaths here. Make sure your arms your all 10 fingers are pointing up to the ceiling. You want to feel the stretch in the upper arms and the shoulder, the armpits of the shoulders. And you want to flatten your shoulder blades onto your back. I'm going to take 5 more breaths. Okay, to come out, walk your knees in a little bit. Be very careful when you come out. And then lift. Okay, so now let's move our 2 blocks the long way now. So now we're going to have our hands on the block. So some of you may want to have a little towel or maybe even another block or a blanket underneath your forehead if your forehead doesn't come to the floor. So you place your hands onto the block. Walk your knees back and then stretch back to puppy dog. Once again, to protect your shoulders, your arms have to be fully extended. If you don't extend the arms fully, then you begin to rest in your joint and then it doesn't feel very good. And it's not good for the shoulders. So make sure that even if you cannot stay for 10 breaths, stay for 5 breaths, but keep the arms extended. Feel the stretch on the side body. So your hips are dropping back to access the stretch. Once again, your shoulder blades are moved into the back, so they flatten, your thoracic spine is flat. You're going to take 5 more breaths. And now shift onto your knees. Keep the arms straight. Tuck your toes under, come to downward facing dog. Now walk your feet to your hands. You can move the blocks out of the way. Release the head down, so soften your neck. Make sure you're not hanging in your heels. It's very easy to do. Remember, if you're very tight, you have the option to bend your knees to access the upper legs, which is the hamstring and the glutes, and soften the lower back. And from here, you can try to extend the legs again without stressing the back. And then inhale, stretch your spine. Place your hands on your hips and come all the way up. Bring your feet together. And pause there for Tadasana. So the head of the shoulders moves down away from your ears. The tailbone releases down. You're firming up the belly. And last move. Okay, now we're going to go back to the floor. And we've done all the work that we were going to do. Now we want the body to release. So we are going to start with recline cobblers pose. After working on the back the way we did, we want to broaden the sacrum. So you're going to have your two blocks and your feet together. So we're using the block to support the thighs. So the block can be in more than one position. If you're very tight, if your knees are way up here, then you want to have the block touching your hip joint. If your knees are able to release a little bit more, then move the block out so that it's just supporting the middle of your thigh. Now bend your elbows and then lift the thoracic spine to lift the chest. And let your arms rest by your side. We're going to take 20 breaths here. And close your eyes. Remember, when we're doing restorative, you never want to force your body into any position. So you let the legs become heavy. The sole of the feet are touching. And let's begin to take a few pranayama breath, simple breath. You're going to take a deep inhalation, pause, and take a second one. Pause, and slow, steady exhalation. Just take 2 more breaths this way on your own. You take the deep inhale, you pause halfway, and then increase your inhale, pause, and slowly exhale. if you need to take a normal breath in between, then you do so. Let's do that again. Inhale halfway. Pause. Inhale all the way. Pause. And slow, steady exhale. Breathe normally for the next 10 breaths. And now take your hands to the outside of your thighs and bring the knees together. Put the blocks to the side. And take your strap. You don't have to undo the loop. If you had a loop, you don't have to undo the loop. You could in fact make the loop smaller, depending on. So we're going to do a twist with the legs straight. So there's two positions you can do. One is to bring the knee across with the knee bent. Or two, you're going to bring the knee in, you're going to place the strap around the ball of the foot. Now press your foot into the strap. Keep the other leg extended. Once again, if you need to have your knee bent when we move to the side, then you bend your knee. Now you're going to hold on to the strap with your left hand, extend your right arm out to the side, and then slowly bring your leg across. If your foot does not come to the floor, take a block, place your foot on the block. Let's take 5 breaths here. Feel the stretch in the IT band and the glutes. Let's take 2 more breaths. Now, hold on to the strap with your foot and bring your leg back up to the center. Let go of the strap. Give your knee a hug. Hold on to the shin. Pull your knee in. Okay, let's go to the other side. So you bend your left knee, place the strap around the ball of the foot. Take a moment to extend the leg, extend the right leg as well. Now you're going to take the strap in your right hand and then slowly bring your leg across into the twist. Let's take 5 breaths here. Five to 10 breaths. And then slowly bring your leg back up. Let go of the strap. And pull your left knee in. And then extend both legs. Extend the arms over your head. Okay, we're going to do this one more time. So once again, you can do with your knee bent. You're going to extend the left leg on the floor. And if you do the straight leg like I do, you're going to bring your leg across and use the strap to hold onto your foot. Now you're going to bend your left knee, hold onto your ankle, and pause here for 5 breaths. So the left knee is bent and the right leg is straight or bent. And then slowly release, coming back to the center. Recenter yourself on your mat. Extend your right leg on the floor. Stretch your left leg. Bring your leg across. And grab the strap of the foot. Now bend your right knee and hold on to your ankle. 5 breaths. Now this is a pretty intense stretch, so don't force it. Go to your place that's comfortable for you. And then slowly come back to the center. Bend both knees and plant the feet. Walk your feet to the edge of your mat and then let the knees release toward each other. Place your hands on your belly. Let's take 5 breaths here. And then slowly release. I want to do one more pose, and some of you may want to do cobbler's pose. If you don't do cobbler's pose, we're going to do recline septibanda. Recline hero pose, sorry. Recline hero pose. So I'm going to sit between my feet. So this way, some of you may not be able to do that if you have bent knees, okay? So if you have bent knees, you're going to bring your feet together with your knees apart. You're going to go back onto the block. Extend the arms over your head. And then stretch the arms out to the side. Let's take 5 breaths. Keep the knees, if you're in the position that I mean, keep the knees together. Let's take 1 more breath. Now, those of you who are in reclined cobbler's pose, you don't have to get up. Just stay where you are and sit up for Shavasana. If you were in a pose de la main, you're going to push away from the floor. And we are going to do one downward facing dog to stretch the legs. Shift onto your knees. Tuck your toes under, press to downward facing. So now we're doing downward facing dog for the legs. Let's take 2 more breaths. And come to your knees. And sit up for Shavasana. For Shavasana, if you want something underneath your knees, you can use your blocks. Or you can just lie flat on the floor. So you start by separate your feet wider than your hips, tucking the tailbone under. You lower yourself down to your back. Bend the elbows, lift between your shoulder blades. Let your arms rest out to the side. Let the whole body relax. And close your eyes. Begin again by taking a deep breath in. Hold. And slow, steady exhalation. Breathe deeply. Let the body go. In meditation, we talk about letting go. So when we do Shavasana, we want to let go of the body. You want to feel a sense of well-being and lightness. If it works for you, you could visualize a blue light shining in the center of your forehead. And if you see the blue light, concentrate on it. Using that as a point of focus. And let that light expand all around you. Became distracted because of your thoughts, just return to that blue light. Bend your knees and roll to your side. And slowly come up to seated position. So get what you need. So if you use a pillow in your class, use your pillow. Change the cross of your legs. It's really easy to forget. I hope you enjoyed the session and you're feeling totally stretched and relaxed. Close your eyes for a couple of breaths. So rooting the sitting bones, lifting the spine, now let's extend the arms out to the side and then slowly bring the palms together to the center of your heart. Press the side of your palms into your sternum, lifting there, dropping the head of the shoulders down. With your next exhalation, bow to yourself with gratitude. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you have a wonderful evening or rest of the day, and see you soon. Bye-bye.